Mesh Festival.
Radio podcast by Film Explore.
Mesh Festival for UND Technology.
Radio podcast by Film Explore.
Film Explore.
Welcome to Film Explorer podcast series extended. My name is Giuseppe Di Salvatore, editor of Film Explorer, and I'm very happy here to meet Nina Liechti, one of the curator of the team of Mesh Festival. We are today discovering the first edition of Mesh Festival.
Yes.
So welcome. Actually,
Thank you.
have to welcome us.
Welcome to Mesh Festival then. Great that you're here.
Yeah, you are a curator. Already worked at CKM in Karlsruhe in the field of media, art and culture. So can you just tell us something very briefly about your path? What brings you here?
Yes, thank you. I did actually work at Mesh at HEC here many years ago as an intern back then. And really fell in love with the idea of media art, specifically media art being a tool, again, tool in the future, to bring people and ideas together to kind of have this canvas where artists explore technological topics, but also topics that are very much about community and just social topics in general. And I thought I need to do more of that. So I was lucky enough to work at ZKM for 3 years, where I was also co-curator of Renaissance 3.0, which also looked at how artists and scientists work together to create tools or use tools that shaped either the past future, but also that shape the future now. So Mesh Festival with the topic, when Sabine asked me to be part of it, I was really excited for it because it's something, I've been thinking about for a while now.
We are here in the big hall at the entrance of the festival, we can say. And I mean, in this festival, there are a lot of different media and different approach to create experiences or pieces of artwork. So how did you navigate as a curator in finding a way actually to have a sort of representation of the perfect place for interdisciplinarity? We could say, of course, even more than transdisciplinarity, even too.
So I think first and foremost for us, it's always important to say this idea of tools and how we use them. We have a selection of 21 artists, so that's far from everything that's happening. We don't have the idea that we're showing everything, so don't come at us pointing and saying you didn't show this one. But then we try to include as many different approaches. We have approaches that are looking at artificial intelligence, but we also have approaches that are very much community-based. So we try to showcase also these different understandings of tools. And then one of the things that was very important to us was that we also did an open call. The open call, we expected to have to get like 200 submissions. We ended up having 689 submissions, so it's a lot, which we selected about 10 artists from. But that's what it did. On one hand was we did have a lot more perspectives than just the two of us, Sabine and me, could have come up with. So we had a broader pool of choice of what we can show. But on the other hand, what I think is quite important to say is that 689 submissions also shows that there is really a need and a demand for a platform where this kind of art and thinking can first, on one hand, be displayed, but also people can come together and discuss, look at, just generally be excited about.
I like very much. There is also a series of conferences. I mean, there also the discursive and the reflection side of this
Yes.
word is very important. But it's a festival. I mean, something evenement is something. It's an event. It's something that happens, and I would like to stress this aspect because I mean it's a big challenge. I imagine because we concentrate a lot of technology and a lot of even probably problems in few days, and and I have the impression that the fragility, if we can say like this, of the dispositive of the technology, because it can always happen something, and you have also to apply for some experience like VR experience. You have
Mhm.
to describe. So it's a fragile dispositive, create already a sort of performative dimension. So is the performance not only something that you program, so you put in your program, so there are several performances, but also a general attitude, I will say, in such a festival.
I think a festival generally, if it's done in a way that people can also engage, yes, it is always performative. I feel also with the so the exposition is in different places all over the festival grounds, and the idea for that really was also for people to come together and to exchange and to have this, yeah, in a way performative or ground where you can exchange. I mean, right now we're in the civic, for those who haven't been or here yet, which is the welcome space, but there's also two artworks that were very much selected to engage. But yeah.
You work with new media, yeah. There is this expression, new media. How is for you the word new an advantage? Something, of course, isn't that give you, yeah, sort of free possibility, etc. At the same time, probably a limitation in the sense that we still are in the moment of exploring the media, not just using it to do something.
It's funny that you say new media, because it's something I often talk about, that I always feel it a little bit misguided, especially if we talk about tools for the future or about technologies, because there's a lot of tools that specifically artists, but also in the tech world, people are rediscovering that aren't necessarily, in quotation marks, new, but that have been here for a very long time, and that it shouldn't be only new media. We have a lot of artworks, for example, that look at how can the collective be a tool. That's not media in general, that's also not new. But it is something that maybe society at parts forgot a little. So it is a tool. How can it be a tool? We have a lot of also works that think about this idea of new media is very much rooted in what we in Western countries think is progressive, while there's a lot of very specific tools. I mean, in one of the first of the first computer languages, or just not non-binary languages, that could be something that's similar to artificial intelligence, is actually a system called Kipu that was created by ancient Maya civilization. And it's one project we talked a lot, because we have a lot of artists that look at tools that are ancient and that are non-Western European, and that can be tools for the future again. So I talked a lot now, but it's just very important to me that new media isn't necessarily what we should talk about.
Yeah, exactly. And you told you spoke about community as for me it's something very very strong in this festival. This is sort of keyword, I will say, and that's come back to the question of new. It seems, yeah, sometimes in the perception is artificial intelligence, or the most avant-garde is digital dimension. But here you have also reflection about biology. You have also a perceptual immediate physically, we'll say, experience that you can do. So is this even hybridity between old physical media and artificial intelligence and the new avant-garde of digitally, something that is very important for you to organize and to...
I mean, yeah, generally, I think it's also important that if we talk about art and technology, there's many different phases art can have, and there's many different phases technology can have. So, like you said, we have works that are KI based, that are very technical. We have works that are more biomedia. We also have works that completely lean into, for example, manifestation, which is not scientific at all. So it is important, but I also think for us with the exhibition, but also with the performance program, it was really important to showcase this idea of what can tools actually mean and where is the intersection, because I feel we also have tools where it isn't clear it's art and it isn't clear it's technological, but it's something in between. And seeing how many people are here, I feel like that's a topic that a lot of people are interested in.
Probably last question about this interface art and technology that is the core of the festival. You also say clearly as a statement for the festival that it's not only a question what technology can bring to art or what how art can be inspired by the new technology or technology in general, but it's also the other direction, in the sense how much technology can take advantage of being inspired by artists and by art practices. So I'm not from the side of technology, so I couldn't answer to this question. But what, in a nutshell, what
Can I?
yeah, what will you say?
I mean, first of all, I have to say that the people that are probably more qualified, again, community, are the people from iArt who've been doing that for a very, very long time. I do think that...
Just to add,
Yeah.
iArt is one of the main organizer of the Mesh Festival.
So we're three parties. It's the House of Electronic Art that kind of more brings the artistic or the art context in. Then we have the Hochschule, and they, of course, I mean, all of the partners are well versed in art, but they also bring the very scientific way, and then the technological part and art and technological part is provided by ART. But to come back to your question, I think that because we're so drilled on thinking, art uses technology and it's just like a paintbrush, we forget a little that artists very often also take scientific data, or they have the liberty in a way that they don't need to provide a specific result. So if they say, oh, I'm really interested in what I can do with, for example, Touch Designer, but also what I can do with genetics, they don't have to work to a specific goal. They can just experiment with it in a very free sense of the word, and then they might stumble upon things where artists are like, actually, or where scientists are like, actually, I never thought about looking at it like that. Or also artists having the liberty to maybe be more critical, because they don't need to sell it. They don't need to be in good graces with, I don't know, some company. And for example, Juan Cortes, who we have in the SFG Plakatsammlung, he's a Colombian artist, and he has this piece that shows us in a really, really nice graphic way, you see the plants grow, and it's about how the stock market and plant growing, but also colonist practices intertwine in agriculture in Colombia, more specifically focusing on soybean production and deforestation of the amaranth plant. So it's very complex, but and he has this amazing graphic, and it becomes so visible and so understandable. And I think that's one thing that artists can bring, that at a point also you get to understand graphics that otherwise, I mean, that's maybe not specifically just for scientists, but for a more general public, they get to experience it. Sorry, again, I drifted a little bit with your question, but it's just so many interesting things to see and so many important things to say about the amazing artists we worked with.
Yeah, just a way to suggest to really to discover all these different kind of artworks and experiences here. I will also say that non-linearity is a sort of touch that the Mesh Festival has, and it's also nice to get lost sometime and find again and discover things. And
generally, I think also that's the idea with the exhibition being in so many different places, that you should really wander a bit, take your time. And then one little thing we haven't talked about is the performance program, which is also a program that was curated with this idea of tools in mind, but it's also a place to just really come and get lost, discover something new. And also they're not necessarily having to learn a lot, but just be there, experience something, and see how differently tools and science can be used in art.
thank you very much, Nina. We look forward to continue to discover and to meeting people, and we'll have in the podcast, Film Explorer podcast here, new and other guests. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Mesh Festival.
Radio podcast by Film Explorer.
Mesh Festival for Kunst UND Technology.
Radio podcast by Film Explorer.
Film Explorer.